Hi friends, I am Mervin Fernandez, a chartered accountant by profession qualified from the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. In this short video, we are going to discuss about two specific types of letter of credit. I have done a small video on letter of credit where it has been explained what is an LC and how an LC operates. The link of the same has been mentioned in the description box below. Kindly refer to that so that you can relate many things to this topic. Coming back to the topic, there are different types of LC that are prevailing, like revocable and irrevocable LC, transferable and non-transferable LC, sight and usance LC, confirmed and unconfirmed LC, standby letter of credit, revolving letter of credit, etc. Now, based on the payment of the underlying trade transaction, there can be two types of LC, which is sight LC and usance LC. This is what we are going to discuss here. Now, what is a sight LC? Sight LC is an LC where the payment is made immediately on presentation of the correct documents. Whereas usance LC is an LC where the payment is made on a future date upon presentation of the documents. Now let's discuss each in detail. Sight LC. As the name indicates, sight LC is an LC where the payment is made immediately on citing of the required documents. As per the terms of the LC, the exporter, he ships all the goods to the importer as per the terms and conditions of the LC and the order. He submits all the required original documents like invoice, packing list, certificate of origin, transport document, whether it be airway bill or the bill of lading, in his bank, which is the beneficiary bank. And the beneficiary bank sends all these original documents to the importer's bank, which is the applicant bank. The applicant bank checks these documents and they give a document arrival advice to the importer. In order to collect these original documents from the bank, the applicant, he needs to give his acceptance of these documents. Once the acceptance of these documents are made, immediately the payment is being transmitted from the applicant bank to the beneficiary bank, and beneficiary bank credits the beneficiary's bank account with the amount of the trade transaction. So in a sight LC, immediately upon acceptance, the payment is being transmitted. Now, subsequently, the applicant, he collects these original endorsed bank documents from the bank. He goes to the customs authorities, gets the delivery order in favor of him, goes to the port and clears the shipment. This is how the sight LC functions. Now, coming to usance LC. Here, as we have seen in the definition, the payment of the trade transaction under a usance LC is made on a future date upon presentation of documents. The word usance is another word for usage. The applicant here gets a credit period for settling the payment of a trade transaction. So what happens is that he gets a credit period which improves his liquidity, and he gets a time period to use these goods in order to sell it prior to the payment. The functioning of the usance LC is exactly same as the sight LC, except that when the acceptance of documents is given by the applicant, the payment is not immediately transmitted. Instead, an acceptance advice is sent by the applicant bank to the beneficiary bank, and the beneficiary bank intimates the beneficiary regarding the same. And in this acceptance advice, it will be mentioned clearly that the payment for this trade transaction is going to be maturing on such and such date. That would depend upon the terms that was mentioned already in the letter of credit. It can be 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days from the date of the original documents like the invoice, packing list, delivery note, or the transport documents. So what happens is that the beneficiary, he gets the acceptance advice, he is sure of his payment, he is comfortable that he will get paid on a particular date. Meanwhile, the applicant, he collects the endorsed documents from the bank, he goes to the customs authorities, gets the delivery order from the customs authorities and clears the shipment from the port. and subsequently on the maturity date, the payment is being transmitted from the applicant bank to the beneficiary bank, and the beneficiary bank in turn credits the beneficiary's bank account. This is how the whole Usance LC functions. So the main difference between a Site LC and a Usance LC is that in Site LC, as the term indicates, the payment is immediately made on citing of the documents, whereas in Usance LC, the payment is made on a deferred date, and that would be fixed as per the terms mentioned in the LC. Hope you have understood what is a Site LC and Usance LC and how both of them functions. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.